Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Remember the helmet that you wanted, that I bought for you, that you would not leave me alone about?
How could I forget?
I got an idea.
What's that?
Let's get you to put it on. You can get really close to the target, and you can tell me how fast this Tomahawk is humming when it hits the target.
You're out of your mind. No way.
Why not?
Because I'm not an idiot,
Dude,
that's why.
you said if I bought you this helmet, you would do it. You were like, hey, Wes, please, please, please buy me that helmet. I would love to wear it, and I'll even stand as close as I can to the target and let you throw an axe really hard, and I'll tell you how fast it's humming.
That's not how I remember it. You could have dementia.
Yes, you did, Dave. I don't care what you say, you said it. So it's time to go to work. Let's get the helmet on you, set you up. Let's do it, guys.
I would like to see you try and get that helmet on me.
All right, Dave, you ready?
No, I'm not ready. What's wrong with you? You're going to hit me.
I'm not gonna hit you, you big sissy.
This is exactly what you have been waiting for, isn't it?
Okay, here it comes. I'm sending it.
He is just playing around. He wants to look cool in front of all you on YouTube. Mission accomplished. He is not actually going to throw it. Yep, he threw it.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Wes, the Suburban Viking. Of course, we got Dave here with us. Say hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
And we are from Midgard Axe. And today we're talking about the Cold Steel Trailhawk. I tell you guys all the time not to judge axes based on the way they look. You can't always do that. I do it myself. Maybe I should practice what I preach. However, I try not to. I really do. I try to just get the axe in, even though I may look at it and go, man, this thing is just not looking the best. I need to get it in my hand and I need to throw it. And I've told you guys that before, to try not to judge them. And I totally judged this one. I did. I looked at it and I was like, I don't know about that. Look how small this little bit is here. I don't know how well this thing is going to fly. But this thing was awesome. It was awesome. And before we get into everything about this thing, because I took this thing and put it through its paces. I threw this thing hard for distance. And of course, I'm going to roll in all the video of me doing that. I'm going to hand it over to Dave and he's going to give you the specs on this thing.
The Cold Steel Trailhawk axe head is made of 1055 carbon steel. The bit length is smaller, measuring in at 2.5 inches. The hammer pole on the back has a hardened face, which I plan on using on Loki soon. I will let you know how that works. It comes with a 22-inch handle, however we chose to use another handle at 15.5 inches. The overall weight of this Tomahawk was 1 pound and 3 ounces. Coming in at $35, it's lightweight and very versatile. And it smashes hard for its size. That's what she said.
Number one, this thing is awesome. Only coming in at 1 pound and 3.6 ounces, it's light. However, I will say it flies really well in the air for single rotation. This is one of those tomahawks that you can take outside and you can throw it moderately or you can throw it hard and it's still going to perform almost exactly the same. Now, of course, if you throw it harder, you're going to get more penetration. But man, this thing just felt really good out of the hand. I have some experience already with some of these teardrop shaped cold steel handles. They're not my favorite, but I was able to work with it and I do enjoy them. I just don't care for the teardrop shaped handles. They're not, like I said, they're not my favorite, but it still worked out really well. I got used to it, and then I kind of just forget about it as I keep throwing. One of the reasons why I like this thing for single rotations is because it's so light. I was able to set up with my back to the target, kind of whip around and throw. I did try to get this thing out as fast as possible and as hard as I could in the target in as little time as possible. And it was easy doing it with this thing. It's not heavy at all. It releases out of the hand so nice, and it's so light that throwing the weight up to get it back and then out of your hand really fast is not a chore at all. It's really easy, and it's very accurate too. I was able to do some moderate standing still, trying to be accurate in the bullseye for a single rotation. Had no issues either. This thing was just nasty at a single rotation, especially doing my spinning throws and back spinning throws and all those crazy throws I do. Guys, there was no weight to this thing at all, so it came out of the hand really clean, and it just flew really well for a single rotation. It just really did. I think anybody could get this and throw it for a single rotation. It would work out for anyone. It's light, it's nimble, and it sticks in the target really well. Taking this thing back to double rotations, guys, was awesome. It felt exactly the same at a double as it did at a single rotation. I had no issues throwing this thing at all and being accurate with it. Like I said, there's no weight to it. So throwing this thing up and trying to be accurate with it with a moderate throw and then trying to be quick, nimble and throwing this thing hard at a double rotation, you can do both very easily. I didn't have to change up anything or adjust anything for my throw for a double rotation. It felt just as clean back there as it did at a single, okay? And I will say with it being so light, I really wanted to get behind it and throw it pretty hard, and I was able to do that as well. So if I was to tell anybody, about this Tomahawk here, hey, is it good for single and double? Yes, it performs just as good back there as it does up close. And that's kind of what I think of a Tomahawk. If I was to get a Tomahawk, and when I think of Tomahawk, I go, it should be good for single, double, triple rotation. It should perform exactly the same at all three. And this thing here, guys, was no different than my expectations were, which was it flew really well to double rotation. If you wanted to step back and kind of do some trick throws like I did, where I kind of took this thing to the side and released it out to do a double rotation in my round over there, hit bullseye, no problem. There's no weight to it, so you're able to be nimble with it, run around and throw like I like doing, kind of running at the target and releasing it as I'm still moving. You can do it really easy with this thing. And that's what I like about these lighter Tomahawks, guys. They just give you something that a normal throwing axe or a heavier throwing axe doesn't give you, which is the ability to maneuver around, to be able to throw a little crazy, to be able to pull off maybe some more throws that you couldn't do with a heavier throwing axe. And it just flies really well. So double rotations were really good. I had a great time with it. This Tomahawk was so cool because it was able to be thrown at a triple rotation, and I felt absolutely no difference at all the way back there. There was no difference. I was able to set up and throw bullseye after bullseye and be very accurate with it. I was able to hit exactly where I was aiming at, and I had no issues throwing the weight up at a triple rotation and throwing it at the target because it's so light. And that's what I was saying, guys. These Tomahawks are just great flying axes because you can take them double, triple rotation. You can go back and forth between the two, and there's no adjustment, if that makes sense. I know I've said that previously, but sometimes you have to adjust for distance with certain axes. With this thing, guys, you don't have to do that. You can throw it exactly the same at a triple rotation. Felt really good out of the hand. It felt clean out of the hand at a triple rotation. I don't know what else to say, guys. This thing just flew really well. No matter what I did with it, it was easy. And it didn't take me hardly any time at all to kind of master this thing, running around and throwing it. Distance throws and all kinds of different throws. And guys, I'll even show you footage. I kind of got a wild hair at the end of the video after filming, and I set the camera up all the way back on my driveway. And I believe with this, that's either 5 or 6 rotations. I can't remember. I think it's 5. Anyway, I set up, and then my wife pulls into the driveway. She had just got back home, and I was like, crap. And we were getting ready to go somewhere. So I kind of threw the camera up and moved it a little bit and stood behind my car and in front of her SUV and was kind of compact. And I was like, well, I'm only going to get like 1 or 2 throws because we got to go. And so I kind of just stepped back and threw it. And on the very first throw, guys, standing all the way back there, I hit. It was really low on the target, but I don't know if you heard or not, but when I threw this thing, my hand slapped the hood of her SUV. So that was pretty funny, but I thought it was pretty cool. I just threw it one time and hit. So that's why I say I like this thing, because it flies extremely well for distance. Single rotations, double rotations, triple rotations, even going all the way back to my driveway at either 5 or 6 rotations, it flew exactly the same. So this thing is just a great flyer. It really is, and it performed really well. It performed better than I thought it would, and it not only met my expectations, but it actually exceeded them. So yeah, what a great flying Tomahawk. If you guys notice that this thing is a little bit smaller, it's because it is. It actually comes with a 22-inch handle, which was crazy. That was one of the reasons why I looked at it and I was like, what? However, I know you're like, well, you still have it. I do. I got a spare handle for it because I wanted to keep the 22-inch handle. It does have a Cold Steel logo stamped at the bottom on each side, which is a cool touch. But I will tell you guys, I don't know how much axe throwing I do with the 22-inch handle, but I will say, kind of feeling it in my hand with this head on it, it feels really cool. It feels pretty nimble, and it feels like I could do something with it with a 22-inch handle, so I decided to keep it. Now, I will tell you guys, I got the replacement handle for it. It doesn't fit the head the same as the handle that it came with. I don't know if it's a different handle. It says it was a replacement handle for the Trailhawk and the Pipehawk, but it just didn't fit well. And that's kind of what we're getting into when we're talking about this thing, is we'll kind of go into cons now, which is finding handles that Cold Steel makes to replacement handles for some of these axe heads is a little difficult. I've got a lot of experience with the Cold Steel hand Viking axe, and I bought a few replacement handles for those, and each time they sit weird on the axe head. Normally speaking, they do very well up here in this area, but then when you look at it underneath here, you got a lot of space, which causes this thing to rock and come down on the actual handle. So that's one bad thing I always find with the Cold Steel Tomahawks, which is their handles don't seem to fit the heads very well, and you'll get a lot of movement with the handle coming, or the head coming down the handle. Even when you hit the axe head into the target, the handle will literally still move around on you. And that's kind of what happened to this handle here. It kind of started to move, and with movement, guys, as you can see, that's why the handle starts to break apart, because the head moves around too much down here, and then it starts to splinter and take this handle apart. So that's why we had the handle start to crack and break right in this area. And another thing too, Cold Steel likes to put these little set screws. As you can see right here, guys, there's a set screw in it right there. See that set screw? Okay, I left it in there. I normally take them out, but I left it in there, and I wanted to throw it with it in there because I wanted to show you something. I tightened it up in there and I threw it. What's going to happen almost every time if you leave this set screw in your axe head, what's going to happen is that it's going to start moving anyway. That set screw doesn't do anything. It's going to move. And what happens is that it moves down on the handle and creates this channel right here. And I'll come around to the back of the camera and hold it a little closer so you can see it. And then what happens is that screw starts to dig out your wood, and then it makes the handle a little weaker, and then it's probably going to break on you. So what I always suggest with these Cold Steel axes and these heads, take this set screw out and get rid of it. You don't need it, okay? Now we'll get into the pros, which heavily outweigh the cons. Okay, number one, I wasn't a big fan of this axe when I looked at it because I noticed how small the bit was. I'm not a big fan of small bits. This thing only came in at 2¼ inches long. However, no issue sticking it at all. And I attribute that to how thin this thing is, guys. Look at that. Look how thin that axe head is all the way to here. It's thin. And as you can see here, you can see I got wood right in this area right here on the axe head, and then right here, I was sinking all the way to here into that target. And you guys know that target is hard as hell. It's on its last leg. Didn't matter. I was sinking all the way to here. I was getting a ton of penetration with this axe head. Now, I will say I did thin the cheeks down even more and gave it my own edge on this thing, which was pretty razor thin. And that could attribute to why it was sinking so deep. But guys, this thing was sinking really far into that target, and it was hitting hard too. I will say that at only a 1 pound and 3.6 ounces with a 2 1/4 inch bit, you would think this thing would be kind of dainty when it hits. Nah, guys, you could hear this thing smashing in the target, probably because I was throwing it really hard. But it does a really good job with going into the target really deep and sticking when you throw it at your target. So this thing was cool in that department. Tomahawk of all tomahawks, maybe. We still got to get through the pipe hawk, which I've seen a lot of people talk about, and a lot of people have asked me to get the pipe hawk. But the trench hawk, guys, is no slouch. This thing is awesome, and I would recommend getting it. I really would. I think it comes in around like $30 some, $35, $37. You can't beat it. You really can't. And like I said before, this is one of those tomahawks that you can run around and be nimble with, throw really hard, or step back and throw moderate, and your arm's not going to hurt the next day because you're not throwing a really heavy-headed axe. Great tomahawk, guys. It just is. It performed really well. Any advice I could give you on this thing would probably be to take the bit down a little bit, get it a little bit better of a degree on the bit. It was really steep when I got it. And get you some replacement handles. I'd get you some replacement handles. Make sure you have some, because these cold steel handles, even though they take some abuse, I will give them that, they normally don't fit on the heads very well. So you might have to make your own handles or try to modify what they give you. You do have a little bit left over at the top here. I did start getting close to the end, but all in all, not bad. So if I was to get this, I'd get some spare handles with it or make your own handles. And the cool thing about it is too, guys, with these friction fit style axes, or these tomahawks, I should say, where the head comes down off the handle, you can do a lot with these. You can buy 3 or 4 different handles and cut them down in each different lengths. And then you can have like 3 or 4 different axes with one axe head. Take this thing in a backpack with 2 or 3 different handles. It doesn't hold any weight at all with it. And you can do all kinds of different work with this thing. And one more thing before we get out of here, guys, the bit, it's still really sharp. So I was impressed on how well the edge held on this thing, okay? I did have a little bit of gouging right in here. As you can see, I had a little bit of a nick. Hear it? But I did file this thing down really thin, so that's probably on me. But it held its edge very well. Let's get some more in this year and throw them, and maybe we'll come back and talk about this one again. So thanks for everything everybody does to make this channel what it is. I really appreciate all the new subscribers. Check out some of my old content too. I got a bunch of stuff in the back. Down there at the bottom, go back and check some of that stuff out. Cool Hafton stuff, and gonna have some more Hafton videos coming up soon. So we're out of here, guys. Thanks for everything everybody does. I really do appreciate you guys. I really do. I try to maintain as much as I can in the comment section and reply to you guys. I just got a lot going on. And I know I said I was gonna drop 2 videos a week. I'm trying. We're working a lot at work, and I got a lot of stuff going on at the house. So at minimum, I'll get 1 video out a week. I'll try to do 2. We'll see. I don't know if you guys saw or not. Where's it at? It's on this side. I got some stuff coming. If you guys are interested in buying some of it, I might have some coming soon. I'm playing around with ideas. Like I told you guys before, I might have some merch if you guys want to wear some Midgard axe stuff. Be pretty cool. Pretty cool. I know Dave's going to get into it, aren't you, buddy?
I better get my own damn shirt. I deserve it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a Dave shirt too, probably, if I do it. We'll make your own shirt, buddy, and everybody else can wear it too. All right, guys, we're out of here. But until next time, see ya.